All right, so a common issue that you may face when you're working in your coffee van is that your grinder stops and you wonder why. Now this could happen first thing in the morning or it could happen in the afternoon. Basically what you're going to experience when this happens is you press a button, you can hear something inside the grinder switched on, but nothing's grinding up. You think, what's going on? Is it jammed? What's happening? Don't worry, this happens a lot. And it happens more in a mobile coffee van than it does in a cafe. And the reason is not because there's something wrong with your grinder, it's all got to do with the density and the moisture that's inside your coffee beans. And that happens in a van because you're outside in the open air. You're starting at 6 AM when it's 5 degrees and by midday it's 30 degrees Celsius. Okay, so the density is always changing inside your beans. And that sometimes can lead to a jamming of your grinder. Now, basically, if you flick it on and nothing happens, it probably just means that what you need to do is loosen up what's inside there. And the way I do that is I bring my grind around to make it really coarse, okay? Far coarser than what I want to make coffee. And I flick it on. And it usually turns on once you do that. If it doesn't turn on once you make it really coarse, put your catcher in, take your hopper off, and then try it. Usually that works. If that doesn't work, make it even coarser. Bring it right around and then turn it on. Now, if you do those things, I'm certain that eventually you're going to get your grinder going again so that you're not going to have to waste any time pulling things apart. Once you've done all that, remember to put your hopper back on, take the catcher off, okay? And then get your grind setting back to where you want it to be. If that doesn't work, bring it a bit coarser, whack it on, and then push it back. There you go. Back to normal, back and running, no time wasted, you can make coffee again. Now, in the van, okay, common thing you might see, that you might encounter. You've got to your first stop in the morning, all right, you're looking at your machine, you can pour a shot of coffee, and then you go to turn your steam wand on, and nothing happens. Now why would that be? Okay, I've had my generator running for an hour, but for some reason no steam's coming out. The reason why, the first thing that heats up, okay, is the boiler, okay, and the boiler will pour the coffee, all right, but the last thing to heat up in the coffee machine is the steam wands. And the best way to check if my steam wands are ready to go is I look at this gauge over here, all right? Now on my machine here, the bottom one is the boiler pressure, okay, for my brew pressure, right? So when I press these buttons, the bottom gauge there is the one that tells me how many bar of pressure I've got pouring through. And I want that to always be at 9 bar when I press the button. All right, and as you can see, when I press it, it's coming out at 9 bar. The top one here is my steam wand, okay, my steam pressure. And I want that to be somewhere around the 1, the 0.9 or the 1. If in the morning you're trying to steam coffee, right, and nothing's coming out, have a look over at your pressure gauge. And if the top one there is, you know, anything below 0.5, it tells you that your steam is just not quite ready to go yet, all right? Just give it a bit more time, and I guarantee you it will heat up. First thing I always do, as soon as I get to the back of the van after I get out, is I turn the steam on, because sometimes you just got to turn it on once, just give it a little bit of pressure, okay? And even though I know it's not ready to go, it heats up really quickly after that, and before you know it, you got your steam coming out at full pressure, ready to go.